display. At 5 minutes, I'll display the green background. At 6 minutes, I'll display yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will display the red. And then we also have our evaluations, which is 2 to 3 minutes. At 3 minutes, at 2 minutes, I will display the green. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I'll display the yellow. And at 3 minutes, I will display the red. We then also have our table topics, which is 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll display the green. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll display the yellow, as well as at 2 minutes, I will display the red. And at the end of each segment, I will then give my timekeeper's report. Over to you, Mr. Table Topics.
Thank you so much, Tiffany, and we look forward to your timekeeper report later in the meeting. Our next role player who will be assisting with the agenda is Jaden Pinar. He will be our and our counter. Jaden, will you introduce your role to us?
Thank you very much, Master Toastmaster, and good evening to everyone. So my role tonight is to listen out for filler words or crutch words such as so, and you know. And I'll give my report at the end of the meeting. Back over to you, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Jaden. The next person on our agenda, we needed someone really, really good looking to be a grammarian. And we decided the only person who can fulfill that role is Cindy Jacobs.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I presume that this was a professional environment, and I'm not sure if flirting is allowed. If I can just get back to my agenda. I am your grammarian, Cindy Jacobs, and I will encourage you this evening, and I will applaud you to use good language, good English language throughout the meeting. So I encourage you to do that, and you will be applauded at the end of the meeting. And then the word of the day for today is called acceleration. Acceleration. Now, I need us to understand what acceleration means, and I'm just going to give you a definition for what acceleration or accelerate means. Acceleration is to increase in rate, to increase in amount. It is also an act or a purpose, or rather an act or process of moving faster, or when things are happening more quickly. That is what acceleration means. And then similar words to acceleration is speed, rush, quicken, push. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, we've been caught out. For those who thought this was a dating meeting where people meet and get married, Cindy and I are already married and we're sitting in the same room. That's why the echo. I thought I would let our first-time guest, so Didi, know that, you know, in our club, if you come for the first time, if you see anything you like, you just inbox them, and you know, it's part of club fees. You know what I'm saying? It's all paid for. But unfortunately, I've been caught. Our next role player is Quincy Jacobs. Quincy will be our general evaluator. Quincy, tell us what a general evaluator does.
Thank you so much, Mr. Master Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toasties. My role this evening is to be the general evaluator. So I'm going to basically give you a breakdown of the whole meeting at the end of the meeting. You might be asking, a breakdown of what? I will be giving you a breakdown for the evaluators. I will be giving you a breakdown of how the table topics has been going, and just practically the meeting as a whole. So far, so good, but I will not give too much away. Thank you so much, everybody. Back to you, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you, Quincy. Much appreciated. On any Toastmasters agenda, there are sections. One of the most important section is the prepared speeches, which is what we will go into right now. After the prepared speeches, we do something called table topics, and the table topics master will later on introduce to you how table topics works. Then after table topics, we come back and we do evaluations on the speeches which were given this evening. So next, we are moving into our prepared speeches. These are people who have prepared speeches for tonight and are going and are on a journey. I'm going to give an example. Mandy Petrus is on a journey with a new path. She's completed an entire path with 5 levels. She has completed it, but she's starting a new path, and she is now on level 1 of the new path. If you want to be a distinguished Toastmaster like Cindy Jacobs, you need to complete 2 paths, which is what Mandy is busy with this evening. She's on path number 2. Let's put our hands together because I think that is a wonderful achievement. Thank you so much. Mandy will be doing a speech this evening. Her speech is on level 1, as I said, and it is called Motivated to Move. But before we get into the details of Mandy's speech, or before I introduce her, I would like Kelsey to introduce to us Mandy's objectives for her speech and to tell us what Mandy is trying to achieve this evening. Over to you, Kelsey.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Marco Jacobs. And good evening to you, Mandy. I'm so excited for your speech tonight. I'm very excited. Congratulations on starting a new path. It's very inspiring to all of us. You just doing it. And I love that. So the purpose of Mandy Petrus' speech tonight is that for the member to learn the basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose, and is to present a well-organized speech on any topic. This speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best for your speech, and over to you, Toastmaster. Master Toastmaster.
Master Toastmaster. Mandy Jacobs, are you ready for your speech? I make that mistake at least once a year. Mandy's my sister. Her surname was Jacobs. For those who are wondering what is going on. Mandy Petrus, are you ready for your speech this evening?
Indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mandy Jacobs with her speech this evening. I just did it again. I just did it. Can I just go to bed? Let's end this meeting. Just cancel everything. I'm leaving. Right, let me not say names. Mandy, with her speech, Motivated to Move. Motivated to Move. Mandy!
You can't start the timer yet. I still need to get over the whole Jacob spot. Tiffany, you need to give me at least 10 seconds on the timer. Let me take a moment. And maybe let me just do a takeout. Zig Ziglar once said, people often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, George, neither does bathing. And that's why we recommend you do it every day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever tried to move a group of people towards a common goal? And then only to realize that it felt a little more like trying to herd cats, which is nearly impossible. Unless, of course, if you're using catnip. But don't worry, only the cat people are going to understand that one. Now, I've been there before. Well, in fact, I'm currently in it. I am both a sales manager as well as a leader of a women's group in a Christian setting. Now, motivation is that fuel that gets people moving, Cindy. but it's no simple task. So my objective for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is really to provide you with 3 ways to motivate people to move, based on the lessons that I myself have learned, both in corporate as well as an NGO setting. So let's get into lesson 1, and that is motivation through vision. Motivation through vision. Kels, in sales, I quickly had to learn that people aren't necessarily moved by the number on the board, which I kind of thought in sales, that's the whole, that's the whole goal. But they were more motivated by the vision of success and what that looks like for them personally. And so when my team struggles to meet targets, I can't say to them, Alvina, sell more. So what do I do instead? I paint a vision. I ask them to imagine, Jaden, what the reward would look like for them. What does it feel like when you reach your goal? And what does it mean for you personally? What I need them to do is to attach an emotion to what that vision looks like and what winning means for them. Because vision, Marco, is what pulls people forward. And where there's no vision, my people perish. And so in the same with my women's group, the same principle will apply. When you cast a vision of women leading with courage, influencing their families, impacting their communities, then suddenly attending my meetings isn't an obligation for them. It becomes part of their mission. I've seen this for myself come into fruition. When the ladies give me feedback, even on the homework that they've done, they come back and they can literally say to me, I've applied it and I can see that it works. But let's move on quickly to lesson number 2, which is motivation through belonging. Love this one. Another key lesson. People want to feel like they belong, like they're part of something bigger. And so again, in sales, as cold as it may sometimes be, and competition can be so fierce, I, as a sales manager, had to make a concerted effort to build a team that fuels on celebration, celebrating every win, celebrating one another, applauding every single part of the journey, because people are motivated when they know that they're not alone. I literally had to reiterate this week. So I work remotely, Pastor Quincy, and sometimes that in itself can feel so lonely. And so I had to reiterate to my team members this week to reach out, to ask questions, to never feel like it's a foolish question. Because when fear steps in, then so does isolation. And all of a sudden, you don't feel like you belong. And the same in my women's group. When women feel safe, they begin to share. They share on their struggles. We then get people to pray together, lift each other up. And all of a sudden, when they leave, you'll hear them comment about, I feel so much lighter. Maya Angelou says these words, and I absolutely love this quote, Cindy. People will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but people never forget how you made them feel. And so motivation comes alive in an environment where there's encouragement, a sense of belonging. But let's quickly move on to lesson 3, because I see Madam Timer is all up on the green. Motivation through empowerment. Motivation grows when people feel empowered. And again, as a manager, I cannot micromanage. I have to learn to trust my team with all the responsibilities, which again, isn't easy when you're working remotely. But trust is the key word. And again, as a leader in a Christian women's group, I encourage women to take the stage, to share their testimonies, to lead small discussions. And if you know Latricia, she will tell you Mandy loves to give me a project to do because it's about empowering. Because when they realize that they have something to contribute, they find the courage and they rise to the call. John Quincy Adams says this: if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, then you are a leader. So motivation isn't about pushing people. It's about unlocking that fire that already exists inside them in order to accelerate them. Now, I know I've shared many of my motivational tips, well, 3 at least, about getting people moving. But I certainly am not oblivious to the fact that challenges do arise. And it's very different when you are in NGO setting and when you are in corporate. And so you need to find the motivation that drives them in those various settings. In fact, one of the greatest distinctions in corporate is that you can use fear and punishment, Alvina. But I'm not here suggesting that that is the right way to do it. So as I conclude, people are motivated by 1, a clear vision, 2, a sense of belonging, and 3, empowerment. Motivation is not about forcing, it's about igniting. So fellow Toastmasters, let's remember, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, shows the way. Whether you're in sales or in NGO, be the leader that motivates. Back to you, Master Toastmaster.
Wow, that was really good. Let's use some emojis. Let's show some appreciation. Do you know how to use reactions? You click on the reaction button at the bottom of your screen and you choose maybe your heart. You click on that and there we go. Alvina's doing it in the chat. That was a really good speech by Mandy. Our next speech is by Kenilwe. Kenilwe will be doing level 4. So remember I said to you, there are paths and every path has 5 levels. Kenilwe has completed level 1, 2, and 3. She's now on level 4. She's starting. And she will be speaking on Ignite's club plan for growth. But before Kenilwe comes up to speak, I want to ask Alvina to introduce Kenilwe's speech and to tell us what it will be about. Over to you, Alvina.
Thank you so much, Master Toastmaster. And again, good evening, Team Ignite. Especially good evening to you, Kenilwe. I was hoping that you would stand, and I can see that you are already geared for speed and acceleration. You are ready to just do this. The purpose of Kenilwe's speech tonight is, well, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to effectively use public relations strategies for any group or situation. Furthermore, the purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of their public relations strategy. Kenilwe, I do also know that this is something that comes as second nature to you. We're looking forward to your speech tonight. Back over to you, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alvina. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kenilwe with her speech, Ignite's Club Plan for Growth. Ignite Club Plan for Growth, Kenilwe. Let's welcome her.
Now, think about this moment. The moment when you first realized that your intestines could actually turn and twist and make knots within themselves. I'm sure we all have it, whether it's the pageant that you went through, whether it's the fact that you had to say a speech for the first time. I've had these knots, but not as a speaker. I've always had these knots as a beauty pageant contest, or when I had to socialize on a whim as an introvert. But there was a moment in my life when I understood what Maya Angelou meant when she said, "I know why the caged bird sings." Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kenilwe. I am your PR Vice President. I got that wrong, but I'm part of the PR for Ignite. And I want to talk about the journey, not just for myself, but for us as a team. Maya Angelou said, "I know why the caged birds sing." When I read that book for the first time, I did not know that my life would exemplify what she was writing. But sadly, when I was in my 3rd year of varsity, I experienced a health hazard that left me without speech, forgetful, not remembering names of people, not remembering words. All of a sudden, I went from a confident person who loved the stage and loved to speak to one that couldn't even remember words to use, that sounded very stuttery, foolish, something you don't want to listen to. This harped on my confidence, and hence why I am here today. This step for me was revolutionary. It not only meant that I was able to capture back what was almost taken away from me, but it meant that I was able to really delve into a deeper connection. Because at the end of the day, public speaking is not just public speaking. As Mandy has put it, people want to connect, they want to feel they belong. And that is what I want to address today with my action plan for Ignite Public Relation. Now, the first objective is, what is the objective of getting people here? It certainly can't be to talk, because everyone does it. Everyone is communicating. Our objective in this place is to ensure that people belong. It is to ensure that everyone knows that their voice is needed and it is important. And how we do this is we are going to do away with the shying away from the camera. We're going to do away with the not interacting. Luckily, I'm speaking to a crowd of very good members that are continuously interacting, continuously pouring in. It's as if we know one another. But our objective needs to resound in all of our hearts and not just at the top level. We're not here to just listen to speeches. We're here to make people understand that their voices matter. That whatever their journey is to where they are today in Ignite, hopefully, that we want to make sure that that voice is ignited throughout the spaces that they'll occupy. And then secondly, we have to define our message. Our message is not just of one trying to articulate well or trying to sound well. Think about it this way. We had Bill Clinton, who was a great orator. He was able to convey a message. He was able to speak to the masses. But we all forgot about him when Barack Obama opened his mouth, because there came a man who was able to connect with people's hearts. So the plan is simple. It will be the defining message of actually confidence and leadership development, understanding that what we say is meant to connect people. And this is how our messaging as well will be. This is going to lead me to my third point, our audience. Our audience is not just people that are trying to get up in the ranks professionally. Our audience truly are people that are trying to ignite their lives and take it up a notch, accelerating it to the next level. Now, when it comes to the media strategy, this is one that has been a challenge for me. Why? Because I am a complete introvert. As much as I love to talk when there's an objective. And now, this is the plan that I pose to do. And that is, yes, WhatsApp has been our medium of communicating the event. We've been putting people in a warm ground of our group. But I would like to put more of a 2 weeks warmer to tantalize the senses, to say, hey, this is a motivation. Think about your growth perspective. Then a week before, give them the information of the event so that they note it and that they know. And then, of course, after the event, I would like to have more testimonials coming. So what does that mean for all of us? It means that all these beautiful speeches will be what we use as a team to communicate our collective message and our collective growth. Now, I'm so glad for this opportunity to hold myself accountable to you, the team. But I also ask for you to hold yourselves accountable to each and every one that you see on this platform, because we have the duty to not just communicate, but to connect. So let's accelerate this plan as we accelerate our growth. Thank you.
No, the only problem with such good speeches is that when you come here as a first-time guest, you think everybody started like this. It's a little intimidating for us inexperienced people, but we'll keep trying, keep pushing on. I'm going to call on Tiffany to give us the time theta report. Time theta, Twitter.
Okay, I'll take that this evening. I think I deserve that from the last meeting we had, and somebody said something. But our timekeeper report this evening, I just want to say well done to the ladies. Your time for this evening, Mandy, is 7 minutes, 35 seconds. Yes, I did give a breather chance, but we don't mind that. It was very, very good. And then Kenilwe, you had 7 minutes, 45 seconds. And that is my timekeeper's report for this evening. Back over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Well done, well done, well done to both our speakers so far. As mentioned in the beginning, we have our prepared speeches. You've seen the prepared speeches. Next, we have our table topics. Our table topics master this evening is none other than George Woodworth. George will come and he will explain to you what a table topics master does, and then he will take us through the table topic section of the program this evening. Let's put our hands together as we welcome George.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Marco Jacobs. Yes, indeed, as we accelerate into table topics. Table topics is our unprepared section of our meeting. And in table topics, you are presented with a few topics that you will need to speak on. And our timekeeper has already indicated the time that you are allocated to speak within the table topics section. I am quite excited for our table topics tonight, and I will need at least 4 people. 4 people. I must have at least 4 people for tonight's table topic. I will begin by asking for volunteers, and if I do not get any volunteers, I will then pick on a few people. So I will allow 10 seconds for some volunteers to step up. Kelsey, would you like to volunteer? Well, you don't have a choice.
I'll definitely volunteer.
Now, the way our table topics is structured tonight is a little bit different. So our theme says, just do it. Now, I have prepared 4 themes. One for just, one for do, one for it, and one for an exclamation mark. So, there goes the first and ah. For you, Kelsey, which heading would you prefer? Just, do, it, or exclamation mark?
I'll take the exclamation mark. Thank you.
Very good. Under exclamation mark, you can choose a number between 1 and 5.
Okay, I'll choose number 2.
Number 2, what is the most spontaneous thing you have ever done?
Thank you, Master Table Topics, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, at the age of 18, decided to move to a different city. Now, there were many options that I had. Firstly, to stay at home and study in Bloemfontein. Secondly, to study in Cape Town. Thirdly, like I said, I had many options. Third, I had the option to study in Potchefstroom. And then I decided to choose my 4th option, Johannesburg. Now, some call it luck that I came here. Others say that it was destiny to find myself in Johannesburg. And if I did not choose that option, that spontaneous one, which was really not on top of the list, my life would have looked completely different right now. I probably wouldn't have been in this meeting right now. But I am very glad that that spontaneous decision, with many motivation to choose others, was the one that I chose, because that spontaneous decision has led me to so many blessings and destiny that God really had for me. So that decision at the age of 18, a girl with no experience, very innocent and very scared, decided to stay by herself at the age of 18 in Johannesburg. But I decided that I will just do it. And what? It accelerated my journey. Thank you so much. Over to you, George.
Excellent, 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 Kelsey. Excellent. Now I'm looking for another volunteer. Let me go with Alvina as my second volunteer. Alvina, we have just, do, and it left for you.
Let's go with it, George.
It. Choose a number between 1 and 5.
5 for Grace.
5. What advice would you give someone who is afraid to start?
Thank you so much, Master Table Topics Master. And this actually reminds me of what I mentioned one evening when I was Toastmaster of the evening. I said, even when you're afraid, do it in any way. Before you tackle any project, you are most likely going to fail before you do succeed. But unless you get started, you will never know whether you are going to succeed or, let me not say or not. So anybody who is afraid to start something new, simple advice. Tonight's theme, just do it. Back over to you.
Excellent, excellent. The next person I'm looking at is Lucius. Lucius, do you accept? I have just...
I do, George.
Excellent, thank you. I wasn't going to give you much of a choice. I have just and do as the two themes left.
Can we do just?
Just. Choose a number between 1 and 5.
5.
5. Tell us about the moment when hesitation cost you an opportunity. Tell us about a moment when hesitation cost you an opportunity.
Well, George, long ago, I had an option of working for a company. They interviewed me, first interview, second interview. Well, I thought it went well, but then they called me for a third interview. I was hesitant because now they made me scared. The way they spoke about this title, it was very scary. So what I did, I was on my way to the interview, but then I decided because I'm going with a taxi, I'll just tell my mother no. I was too late for the interview. But George, to tell you the truth, that was most probably my best ever corporate job, an opportunity that I missed out. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, thank you. You almost beat the clock there. The timekeeper almost caught you there. Next, I'm looking at the other Jacobs. Yeah, there's a lot of Jacobs here. I'm looking at the other Jacobs. Mr. Quincy Jacobs. Do you accept, sir?
I don't have a choice, so let us just do it. Accelerate it.
Good option. We have the theme called Do left, and choose a number between 1 and 5 for us, sir.
I think 3. I'll go with the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Number 3. How do you overcome procrastination?
George, I love that question because I knew you were going to ask me to speak. And one of the things that came to my mind was obviously the thought of procrastination. Earlier, I saw a small clip on WhatsApp of a man by the name of Apostle Brandon Bailey. And he had on his status something where he was speaking about procrastination. And what I have learned about procrastination is if you don't just do it, somebody else is going to do it. And they might just steal your spot. They might just steal your shine. And you might end up with living with regrets. Thank you so much, sir.
Well said, sir. Very, very well said. That accelerated quite quickly, and with that, brings to an end what I have prepared for table topics for the evening. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Let's put our hands together for all those who participated in Toastmaster in table topics. Table topics are essentially unprepared speeches. And also the facilitator, George. Let's put our hands together in appreciation for what he has done. We are now going to do our speech evaluations. Our speeches were evaluated by Kelsey, is it Joan Wilson? Kelsey Wilson. Kelsey Wilson did the first evaluation for Mandy's speech. Kelsey, over to you as you give us the evaluation of Mandy's speech this evening. Kelsey.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I forgot I'm doing the speech evaluation. I got so into this evening, but you know what? I'll just do it. Thank you, Mandy, Petrus, for your speech tonight. You know, the purpose of your speech was really to write a well-written speech, define what a well-written speech is like, and to speak it out. And you did it so beautifully and so perfectly. I love that you chose this path, motivational strategies, because I really do think that it resonates with the person that you are, because I do know you well. But this speech was structured very well and so organized. I really appreciated the way that you use relatable stories. So you use stories from what's currently going on in your life, your career, the way that you're leading your ladies at the moment in your ministry. And those examples gave us a clear vision of how you apply those 3 lessons of motivating people, so that it made it more practical for us to understand and really kept us like entertained firstly, and also listening to your every word. Another strength was your vocal variety, because you drew us in when you went louder, and you drew us in even more when you went softer. It kept us hanging on your every word, which was amazing. There is just 2 pointers that I really am nitpicking now. But when you are saying like lesson 1, you can do number 1 to give visually impact your words even more. Lesson 2 to motivate people, that can just add more value to the way you impact the words. And then when you do your speech, I would like you to internalize it more, because this is really you speaking about things that you do. Because we did see your eyes drift back and forth just a little bit, but if you internalize it more, these are things that you do on a daily basis, and we can hear it from the way that you speak. But overall, a well-organized speech, a well-spoken speech, and it was so beautiful. Like Tiffany said in the chat, we didn't want it to end. We were okay with you using all your time, because it was so nice to hear you speak about how to motivate people. And I think that we all left here inspired. Thank you so much, and back over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. We had another speech, and also obviously another evaluator. Kenilwe's speech was evaluated by Elvina. Elvina, will you give us some feedback on Kenilwe's speech?
Thank you so much, Master Toastmaster, and thank you so much to you, Kenilwe Mokhara. You are undeniably the woman for the job. I'm going to say it again. You are the woman for the job. You executed that project brilliantly tonight. Kenilwe, I just want to say this to you as well. You are that speaker. When you enter the room, when you open your mouth and you start speaking, even if somebody is sleeping in the back row, they will immediately wake up. You command attention as soon as you open your mouth and you start speaking. I love the vocal variety. I loved the hand gestures. I loved how comfortable you are with your audience, how well engaged you are with your audience. I love the theme that you chose tonight, or rather the title of the speech that you chose tonight. It was a title in season. Kenilwe, if I was a visitor at Ignite Toastmasters tonight, you would have convinced me that this is the place to be. If I'm an existing member, you sold me on the renewal. And as an EXCO member, I want to say, Kenilwe, let's just do this. That is how brilliant you were tonight. Excellent delivery, brilliantly executed. Your speech was well constructed. It was engaging. Oh yes, the other thing, he's going to mark me down on the O, but it's okay. The other thing that I absolutely loved is how well prepared you were. From the onset, you stood. It's something that we seldomly see within Team Ignite, but as DTM Marco Jacobs mentioned earlier, you've come a long way, and I love that we're seeing how you are applying everything that you've learned along the way. The only advice that I would love to give you, let me firstly emphasize on your strength. Kinelwe, you are somebody who thinks on your feet. That's what we love most about you. When you do make a mistake, as a PR person, don't acknowledge that you made a mistake. Tap into your strength, do it politician style, and most of the people in the room would not even have noticed. The other thing that we would have loved to see is visual aids. But other than that, brilliant. We loved it. Back over to you, Master Toastmaster.
Brilliant, brilliant. I'm going to say again what I said. This is just a little bit of reiteration. We start with prepared speeches. We do the unprepared speeches. We come back and we provide an evaluation on the first section, which was the prepared speeches. And even though it was Mandy speaking, even though it was Kenilwe speaking, all of us learned something tonight from the evaluators. Kelsey told us to do this and this. Now I know that as well. It's helpful to me to use my fingers with purpose. All evaluations are for everybody. That is what I'm trying to say. So well done to the evaluators, the speakers, and the table topics. Let's give them another round of applause. We are going to ask our time tweeter to come back and give us the times for the evaluators, for the evaluations, and the table topic speakers. Madam Time Tweeter.
Thank you, Master Toastmaster. I will be giving the evaluation for table topics, the time for table topics. Kelsey, you did 1 minute, 36 seconds. Alvina, 40 seconds. Lucius, 1 minute, 5 seconds. And Quincy, 57 seconds. And then I'm going to go over to evaluations report for time, which is Kelsey, 2 minutes, 11 seconds. Alvina, 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Back over to you, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Just a quick comment. Cindy and I, every Monday morning and Friday morning, we go somewhere and we are given this is no coincidence, we are given 5 to 7 minutes to deliver a high impact, inspirational speech to a group of people. And we come with props, all the things we've learned here. We take those skills, and the reason I'm bringing it up because 5 to 7 minutes is not easy. It's hard to speak for 5 to 7 minutes, but we've learned our disciplines here at Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, our and our counter, Jaden. Let's welcome him. Jaden, over to you.
I know that tonight's team says just do it, but I don't want to do this. I took on this role thinking that it's one of the easier stuff to do, but I quickly realized that this is one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do in my life. But yeah, let's move. Toastmaster Alvina, Mami in brackets, use the follow word O once, and then Toastmaster George used once. Toastmaster Lucius used twice, and I think was it the crutch where they have because now we also use that. And then it's our two brilliant speakers, Toastmaster Mandy and I know everyone says Canelway, but I say Kedilway. Yeah, I say Kedilway. Use the now I'm also using now you see. Use the crutch word so. Both of you use the crutch word so twice. And then Master Quincy used once. Yeah, that was basically it. Take over to you, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you to our and our counter. Now we're going over to the lady with the red lips, our grammarian, Cindy Jacobs.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. And well done to each and every one. As Jaden says, within Toastmasters, there are so many skills and sometimes we don't always see them. The and ah counter, the grammarian, you have to have insane listening skills. And I want to say thank you. I hope that I haven't missed anybody. Please do forgive me if I have. I'm going to start with our Toastmaster of the day. Unfortunately, I did not pick up you using the word of the day. If I am incorrect, then please just send me a message. Doesn't count anymore. But you did use good words. You used words like journeying a new path, which I thought was really a very, very good phrase to use. You also used the word achievement. I'm not sure about the word time tweeter, but I think that it's sort of like a cool word, and we'll go with that, and I'll grant you that word as a very good word. And then we also use the word facilitator, which I always think is such a beautiful word to use. Then we're going to go to our first speaker, Mandy Petrus. Mandy Petrus. Mandy Petrus, our first speaker. There were so many words that you used, and I actually ran out of space. Thank you so much, firstly, for using the word of the day. You used it once. Thank you very much for that. The words you used were move a group of people towards a common goal. Then you also use phrases like motivation that fuels. And then you also use things like people moving, motivated vision of success. Vision pulls people forward. And then you use concerted effort. Fear steps in. So does isolation. Empowered, micromanage, and then also remotely, and then rise to the call. Well done on beautiful use of English. Canilwe, our poet, also again, I ran out of space. You used the word of the day twice. You use phrases like socialize on a whim as an introvert. Did you use it 3 times? I'm just busy with my report, people. You can't interrupt the speaker when the speaker is speaking. The speaker doesn't take things after that. The speaker, we'll get there. We'll speak about it afterwards. Guys, I've also been robbed many times of using the word of the day. Sorry. And then we had Why the Cage Bird Sang. And I know that that was a book, but I really love the phrase of it. I really love the phrase of it. No, it's not revenge. I'm actually a very nice person. I'm not like principals and teachers. And then you use the word stuttering. I love that word. Very, very, very good. And then you use the word that delve into deeper connection. Beautiful words. It's really like you are a poet. Action plan, ensure people belong. Voices needed and important. Do away with. That is such a beautiful phrase to use. So well done to you with your 2+1 word of the day, Canilwe. But I can't give it to you. I didn't hear it. But anyway, we'll give you 2+1. We'll give you 2+1. Because now Marco Jacobs is also going to want his word. And then we have Kelsey. as an evaluator. The evaluation for Kelsey, you know, one of the things I want to say when it comes to grammarian, people don't always do the words for the evaluators. They don't sometimes do it for the timekeepers, but grammarians should check all the speakers in the meeting. It's not just the speakers. This is part of the meeting because we are all being evaluated. So Kelsey, as the evaluation, number one, you use words like well written, resonates, relatable stories, apply, and practical, add value. Alvina, you use the word of the day as an evaluator once, and then undeniably as an evaluator, command attention, well engaged, existing member, brilliantly, and think on your feet. And then our table topics. Our table topics chain. George, you use the word of the day once. And then also Kelsey, you use the word of the day once as a table topics speaker. You use words like destiny and spontaneous decision. Alvina, you use the words tackle and then fail before you succeed. Lucius, opportunity missed out. And then Quincy, there was a word that you used that said, sure. I know it's not an English word, but I really love the fact that you did use the word. And I tell you why I like that word. I like it because it brings out emotion. And what it actually means, it means wow and oh my goodness. So it really brought out your emotion. Even though it's not English, I want to celebrate you for using a word of emotion. And then lastly, I want to applaud Jaden. I think what you did at the end was brilliant. Not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people use things in that way. You said Toastmaster Mandy, Toastmaster Alvina, Toastmaster Quincy, Toastmaster George. That is the correct way in which we need to address each other within a meeting. And I thought that that was brilliant. All in all, well done to each and every one of you. And I'm sorry, Kanilwe, it's not revenge. I'm really sorry. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Cindy. And Cindy's actually correct. We are supposed to address one another as Toastmaster Mandy, Toastmaster Alvina, distinguished Toastmaster Cindy Jacobs. But sometimes it just takes too much lung capacity to say all of that. But it is the right thing to do. I want you guys to know what the right thing is to do, so that when you go to other clubs and they do it, you don't come back and say, nobody taught me. We just seem to be a little different in our club. Thank you so much to all the evaluators. We have one more evaluator. He is the general evaluator for this evening. He is Quincy Jacobs. Over to you, Quincy.
Yes, I have what you say in Afrikaans, a lang asem. That's why I was so excited for this role. But wow, 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 wow. You know, I believe I have run out of superlatives to just say what tonight's meeting has done for me personally. To our bona fide experts, our Toastmaster Marco Jacobs, our speakers Mandy Petrus and Kanilwe, and our grammarian Cindy Jacobs. What I have learned tonight is that there is no substitute for experience and also just becoming a seasoned person in things that you love doing. I have learned so much when I look at the flow of the meeting, how everything just connects from Marco Jacobs with the theme to Mandy Petrus speaking about motivated to move, coming to Kanilwe, that just brings it all together when she speaks about us moving to the next level. I'm that type of person. I'm, like I always say, I'm ADHD. So I like to look at things three-dimensionally. I like to look at the things that other people miss sometimes. And like I said, there's not enough superlatives to describe what an awesome meeting we have had. There is no substitute for growth. I'm going to start by the entrance. I loved the entrance when we got into the meeting. Everybody was kitted out, everybody was dressed for success, and I liked that. I think it is also important that we communicate more about the theme. When we speak about the theme, we speak about a certain energy that we bring to the meeting. I remember there was once, actually, basically every year, when we have the theme for the Christmas ending meeting, everybody comes dressed in their Christmas apparel. So always look out for ways and means to just fit well into the meeting. Alvina Pinar is somebody that I look to as a mentor with regards to Toastmasters. So I'm always speaking to her and learning from her. And one of the things that I spoke to her about last week when I was a Toastmaster was how do I incorporate the message with the theme and looking the part. It is important that we are always dressed for success. It just speaks about the seriousness that we take what we are doing into account with. I also love the fact that the breakdown of the theme that Marco brought. It is something beautiful, and it teaches us all that it is important that we show that we don't just use the theme haphazardly, but there's a lot of thought that has gone into using the theme. I also like the way acceleration came into play when Cindy brought it up and when she also explained what acceleration means. So it gives us all a little bit more context. One of the things that I loved, George, was the different touch that you brought into table topics. It shows that you also didn't take your role haphazardly. It shows that you were thinking about it for the last 2 weeks. What can I do differently? What can I do to make the evening more exciting? And I think it is a great motivation and a great encouragement to all of us to just look a little deeper. Like I say to our two speakers, Mandy and Kanilwe, very, very well done. Thank you for taking us on this trip. I have a history of drug addiction. So with the word trip in terms of drug addiction means you go on a journey. But one thing that you have made me realize tonight is that there's no substitute for growth. There's no substitute for becoming and developing and becoming the best version of yourself. And this makes me excited for this journey that I'm on. And it also allows me to bring a different perspective to the people that I engage with each and every day. Because we have to always remind people that you must not stay in your comfort zone. We also have to remind them that it is important that in your journey, there has to be acceleration. But we have also not forget that we need to just do it. Every day when we wake up, there's a new reason to just do it. Another small complaint before I log off is let us try to get more people into the meeting. I see so much that is locked up in everybody here that we are depriving other people of. I think we are reaching that stage, and I'm speaking to myself more so too. We are depriving other people of a great, great opportunity, especially living in a time where there's so much depression and everything that is just going wrong. One of the things that I thought about was that Toastmasters really becomes a reason for many people not to think about committing suicide and just, I don't know, I'm that deep person. But yes, once again, said with all love, and thank you, family, for being an extension of my family. God bless you, and have a good one, my fellow Toastmasters and Toastmistresses.
Well done, well done, well done, and thank you to Quincy. I want to explain something for us and our culture as a club. This laughing thing that we do and always trying to have fun, it's what Quincy is talking about. We are trying to bring something into your day besides a skill, besides improvement in leadership, because you guys go through a lot. Let me tell you something. The fact that you live in Johannesburg means that you are stressed. Finish and clap. The fact that you live in Johannesburg, you are stressed. The thing though is, it is so normalized, the stress thing that everybody goes through, because we all have it. Everyone you're engaging with is there. Go to Cape Town and you feel weird. They think they're busy, but they have no idea. Toastmasters twice a week for 1.5 hours, just a opportunity to have fun. They always say, if you're not having fun, it's not Toastmasters. It's an opportunity for us to get together, have some fun, learn, because we must learn along the way. And yeah, that is really what we are trying to do. With that said, thank you. My work is done this evening. Thank you for having fun with me. Thank you for going on the journey with me. I appreciate it so much. You guys were an amazing audience. Thank you. And over to the president of our club, the tweeter of the century, Madam Tiffany Deirdricks.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of this evening. I would really, really like to say thank you. You took us on a journey, and to every role player. You know, this evening I came, I had a hectic day, but like Alvina mentioned, like Quincy mentioned, like Marco mentioned, this is a time where we get to have fun and learn together. And exactly that was achieved this evening. I would also want to say a special thank you to our Toastmaster of the evening. I really appreciate how you ran this meeting, how every section of the meeting was explained. And if I was a visitor or a new member, I would have a good idea on how our club is run. And Kinilwe, you sold it. I want to give you points on that. Like, we are in a season of renewal and I am ready to go. I am ready to go. So I want to encourage each and every one on the school. It is time to renew your membership. This is what we come here to do, to learn, to grow, to be motivated, and to just do it together. So tonight, as Quincy mentioned, let us not be keeping all this knowledge, all this teaching to ourselves. Let us go out. And I want to challenge you to invite somebody. Let us even interact and motivate those current members to show them what they are missing out. Let us be in the chat and go and celebrate what just transpired this evening and invite our members to come and rejoin or renew their membership. So I want to say, as we always do in Ignite, we ignite our future by doing it together. So tonight, thank you every role player for coming out, and thank you to Zodidi for coming out tonight and experiencing Toastmasters. We hope to see you again, and we challenge each and every one of you to come and join us at our next meeting. I'm going to ask our VPE to please take roles this evening.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Ignite Toastmasters. My first challenge tonight is, can we at least have 4 speakers next week? Any volunteers? Speakers, please. George, I was hoping you would raise your hand. Anybody else? The Jacobs family, Lucius and Toastmaster Quincy. Okay, not the other Jacobs. Are you ready? Yes, thank you so much. Toastmaster Lucius, Toastmaster Quincy, do you accept? I'm happy. Thank you so much. I know there are 2 other people who promised me speeches, so that will be it for the speeches. Now I'm looking for a Toastmaster for next week. Not next week, for our upcoming meeting. Kelsey, you look like you say, let's just do this. Kelsey, I do want to ask something of you though. The only way that we are going to get more people into the meeting is by advertising. And we've noticed that our flyer goes out rather late. Can I depend on you to give me a title, or rather a theme for the evening, and your photo by this Friday, so that we can use the upcoming week as marketing? Are we in agreement? Thank you so
We'll do
much.
it.
I am counting on you. You are just going to do it, yes. Grammarian, an R counter, timekeeper, anybody?
A
Drop your
volunteer
name.
for grammarian.
Grammarian, thank you so much, Steph.
Timekeeper.
Who said timekeeper? Kinelwe. Okay,
Yes.
got it. An R counter, guys. I know that Jaden said it's extremely difficult, but it's also fun. An R counter, Marco Jacobs. Do you accept? Okay. Thank you so much. I'll speak to the evaluators during the course of the week. Thank you so much. Back over to you, Madam President.